What's her name?
I couldn't tell you honestly. She has a nickname on her Snapchat, and it was Deadly Baddie.
Say it, how is that?
Deadly Baddie.
On October 22nd, 2020, 18-year-old Aaron Lawson was involved in a shooting incident involving two teenagers, Jennifer Broxson and her friend Allison DeJanes. Both girls were injured and hospitalized due to gunshot wounds. Aaron was quickly brought in for questioning by police. To make Aaron more comfortable, the detective removed his handcuffs and left the door slightly open, chatting casually until his partner arrived.
What's your tattoo of?
This is from a mom and this is from a dad.
Got one right here. It's matching with my dad.
Is your dad still alive?
Oh yeah. He just turned 49 actually a few days
I'll
ago.
be 43 in 10 days.
You look good for 43.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if that's a come on or what, but. So once my partner gets here, I'll give you some more water. You hungry or anything?
No, I ate right before I met those people.
Okay. Well, again, like I told you there at the Waffle House, you're going to have your chance to explain your side of the story.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to try to do everything we can to make you comfortable.
Well, a lot more comfortable now than no plastic seat.
Well, I imagine those things are uncomfortable for sure.
That's definitely the truth.
This is my partner, Mitchell Kelly. Aaron Mitchell. Hey, if you don't mind, can I step out and use the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, we're good on there and we're good on here. So,
Take your time. I know this has been a long night. Start from the beginning of the day. Kind of just start walking me through kind of how we led to here.
Okay. So, I think the story really starts about a day ago, roughly 24 hours, probably give or take a few or 3 or so hours. So the woman with the face tattoo, her and I met on Snapchat. I forget exactly how. It's been a while, but
What's her name?
I couldn't tell you honestly. She has a nickname on her Snapchat, and it was Deadly Baddie.
Say it, how is that?
Deadly Baddie.
B-A...
DDIE.
Okay.
So I forget if it was exactly I met her off of the quick ad feature on there or if it was from a mention on someone else's story. But regardless, we met. She posted something on her story. I slid up and we got to talking and she asked me to hang out. I agreed, and she really tried to get me to hang out with her yesterday.
What was y'all's conversation about?
Well, really, she just wanted to hang out. She said she was bored, and I was like, I am as well. So we could do something. She wanted to go to Pensacola. I don't exactly know where. She said by the water. So, like I said, she pushed very hard for me to hang out with her. I declined that night. I said we could probably do something tomorrow. She said that sounds good. So today, earlier in the morning, we were making plans to hang out tonight, and she didn't respond for a few hours, and sorry, my time frame's a little messed up because I'm an hour ahead.
You're fine.
But I want to say about 11 or 10 this time. I went over to a friend's house who I had also just met off of Tinder. That was more of a hookup situation, and so I left there about 12.
Who's that person?
Like I said, we had literally just met, so I want to say her name's Sadie. Anyways, I left there, and the woman with the face tattoo texted me and said, "Hey, I'm heading back from the beach. If you want to hang out, we still can." And I said, yeah, sure, sounds good. So she got back from the beach and she was like, hey, or she was like, where are you at? I said, I am by Whataburger, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A by the Walmart. I don't normally visit Pace, but that's the some rough estimate of the location. So she was like, oh, could you grab me food? And so I agreed. I bought her a number 15 with ranch, and I got her a Coke. I have the receipt in my driver's door, and so I also got I want to say taquito with bacon and the meal, so Coke as well. And so I got the food. She said, all right, I'm almost home. I'll text you whenever I get here. I said, all right, that sounds good. She said she, again, was coming back from Pensacola Beach. And roughly 15 minutes later, she texted me and said, hey, I'm ready for you to come pick me up. She sent me the street that she was on. It was about 7 minutes away from her. I drove to her. She said, hey, is it cool if my friend comes along? That was the lady in the yellow hoodie. I don't know her name at all.
Let me pump the brakes for a second. You keep saying woman, you keep saying lady. Do you know how old these women are at this point?
No.
Okay. Looking at their pictures, could you take a guess at how old they are?
No.
Okay. They look like adults?
To me, yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, I continued on, and they both got in the back seat. The lady in the yellow hoodie sat in the if you're looking towards the back of the vehicle, the back right hand side, and the lady with the face tattoo behind me.
Aaron described how he met one of the girls, known as Deadly Baddie, through Snapchat, and they planned to meet at the beach. But things changed when he arrived to pick her up, and she unexpectedly brought along another friend, a girl in a yellow hoodie. This casual meetup quickly turned dangerous, ultimately leading Aaron to use his father's handgun in what he claimed was self-defense.
Behind me. I said, where to? They told me to go to the boat dock. I didn't know where that was. They gave me directions exactly where to go. Throughout the ride, they made numerous comments on, oh, wow, this is a really nice car. What year is it? What make is it? What model? All that good jazz. And at the time, I didn't think too much of it because that's a common comment I get whenever I'm, meeting people. And so I drive to the boat dock. I park there. I get out of the car, walk over here with them.
Did you pull around like you was facing to drive out, or pull in?
I pulled in. Front of the car's facing this way.
Okay.
We all get out. We go to the little pier, and we just hang out for a little bit. We're on our phones talking a little bit. They're asking what I'm like, questions about me, similar like, where do I go to school? How old am I and stuff like that. So eventually, my pain in my foot gets too much, and I need to go to the ER. So I say, hey, I need to go to the ER now. I'm sorry to cut it so short, but they're like.
Now, were you saying that as an excuse, or were you saying because it was
truthfully was uncomfortable, mainly because they kept inquiring about my car, and honestly, whenever so we get in the car, I pull out back onto the highway, and I get maybe 30 seconds, like if I had to take a rough estimate, a third of a mile out. And then the girl with the face tattoo says, hey, I left my Juul charger, which, I was like, okay, I'll head back and we can grab it. She said she left it by the gazebo. So I pulled in the same in a similar manner, more like this though, not completely in, more I don't know how to say it, at a diagonal angle to the gazebo. And it's at this point that I'm like, okay, you can go get your charger. And they're like, okay, we need to be real with you. They say, quote unquote, we run a business. And at that point, my heart sinks because I felt very uncomfortable at that point. I felt like what eventually did happen was about to happen. They told me that the girl in the yellow hoodie had a gun. They said it was a Glock 17.
Is this girl face tattoo or not?
No, not face tattoo. So she said she had a gun and that I needed to get out of the car, and I was scared, so I did. I took the keys out of the ignition, and she said, nope, leave the keys. At that point, I was 100% sure that they were going to take my car. So they say, listen, back up, and we're going to be taking your car. I don't protest at that point because they say they have the gun. I go sit down at the bench, which is right about here. So they back up, pull out, back up, pull out that way. So the car is facing like this. I get on my phone to call you guys, and the face tattoo lady gets out and she puts her hand out and says, yeah, I'm gonna need your phone now. You can text your dad and you can send him your location, but we are taking your phone as well. And oh, actually, I forgot. Whenever the car was still here and I was getting out, I asked the face tattoo lady if I could grab something from my vehicle because I have numerous important things in there to me, like the gun, and I was concerned that giving them another weapon would be overall bad for, you know. Anyways, I ask if I can grab something from the vehicle. They say no, get out, go away. I go here, I get on my phone to call you guys. The lady with the face tattoo goes to try and take my phone. At that point, I don't know what happened, but I decided that I needed to fight for my property, and I did not want to be a victim of this crime. So I engaged in a fist fight with the girl with the face tattoo. The girl in the yellow hoodie gets out of the car and yells, pepper spray him, close your eyes and pepper spray him. So at that point, I cover my eyes, I turn away, and I start running for my car. The girl in the yellow hoodie was closing the door. I put myself between the door and the car. I got on top of the girl in the yellow hoodie, and she was screaming, get the gun, get the gun. So at that point, I started strangling her because she was also fighting me and threatening me with lethal force. So the lady with the face tattoo comes up behind me and starts tasing me. I get a break.
Where'd she tase you at?
My back. I don't know. I think it right about here. The lady with the face tattoo moves back over here and moves to me, gets the taser, starts tasing me. I don't know what exactly happened, but there was a break in them doing things to me. So I reach in the glove compartment, which my dad also keeps a collapsible baton in. I extend it and I start hitting the girls who are attacking me. I get out of the car because
Where do you think you hit him?
that,
In the head?
yeah.
That's where you're aiming? Yeah, like at their head. Okay.
So, the girl in the yellow hoodie says, "Get the gun, get the gun, get the gun," and the girl with the face tattoo turns around and starts heading for the passenger, right over here, the back right passenger side, if you're looking at the back of the car. So, at this point, that's where I believe the gun is, because that's where the woman in the yellow hoodie was sitting, and she got up out of the car, got up from her seat, hopped over to the driver's seat over the storage compartment, which is how she got control of the vehicle originally. So I believe it fell out of her, hoodie or wherever she had it, and that the lady with the face tattoo was coming to get it. At this point, I hit her a little bit, and while she turns around, runs away, and at this point, I go into my dad has an RFID chip, a key, and a code for the safe.
You mean the gun safe?
Yes, sir. I rip off the RFID chip from the keychain. I unlock the safe. I grab the gun, rack it because it was not hot, it was not chambered. I rack it and I make it known that I have a gun and that they are not to enter my vehicle anymore and that they need to back off. The girl in the yellow hoodie keeps saying that she needs to grab her shoes and her phone. So, I felt that this was just her saying that in order to get in the vehicle to grab the gun, which I believe is in the back right passenger side if you're looking at the back of the vehicle. I tell them numerous times, no, I will shoot you if you enter the vehicle. I'm so sorry. I'm stressed.
No, you're good, buddy.
So she ends up opening the door, bolts for the passenger side, and then I take aim, I fire at her through the windshield. I don't
No, let's slow down. Through the windshield or through another window?
So the window right here. I'm sorry, terminology.
No, you're fine. We're just.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're getting to the point to where what we see on scene versus what you're telling us, we need to make sure.
According to Aaron, the two girls convinced him to drive to a remote location, supposedly for a business. Feeling uneasy, Aaron resisted when one of the girls tried to grab his phone, sparking a physical struggle. When the second girl threatened him with pepper spray and shouted about retrieving a gun, Aaron panicked. He reached for his father's gun, kept in the glove compartment, warning them to stay back. When one girl attempted to enter his car, Aaron shot her in fear.
What you're telling us, we need to make sure you're telling us the exact truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I fire at her, who she's, what I assume, diving for the gun, which that they claim to have.
What did you see her do?
I tinted windows, so I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see much because black on black on black, and she dives for the floor.
She's on the other side of the vehicle from you,
Yes,
right?
so I'm right here.
You say she dives in there. To explain what was she do?
She opens the door, dives for something. I don't know what at this point. I assume the gun. I take aim because I had informed them numerous times that they're not to enter the vehicle because I was worried that that was where the gun was, because they clearly didn't have it on them, because if so, they would have utilized it, I assume. And so I shot through the window. I make my way around the back of the vehicle this way, and the lady with the face tattoo is also diving for the same thing. So again, I shoot.
Are they both in the vehicle right now, like
No,
trying to get something?
They are right here, kind of on, like, just outside of the vehicle. The lady with the yellow hoodie, again reached for something in the vehicle, and to stop her from grabbing what I assume is the gun, I shoot again. And at this point, I realize my gun is empty and that I'm defenseless because they had said earlier, in fact, whenever they're trying to grab my phone, don't try anything dumb because we have other people on the way. And so at this point, I'm afraid that I'm going to be getting attacked by more people. And so I enter my vehicle, I put it in drive, and I drive away just to get into a more populated area so I'm somewhat more safe. And as soon as I drive around this way, as soon as I get about right here, I ask my car to call 911.
Unknown to Aaron at that time, Allison DeJanes died from her injury while Jennifer survived. Jennifer later gave police her side of the story from her hospital bed.
We met, me and that boy met online when he slid up on a story that I shared about Trump. I screenshotted somebody else's post about Donald Trump coming to Pensacola, and they were bashing him. And I screenshot it and reposted it and put the laughing emojis. And he slid up and was like going off and saying, like you people are a good reason to use our guns. And then after that, like a day later, a person added me and texted me, and I didn't know it was him on a fake account. And he basically just...
Where were you meeting? What site were you guys on?
Snapchat.
Snapchat?
Yes, sir. And he texted me off of a different account. And I didn't know it was him until we got in the car with him. I told my friend Allison, I was like, this is that boy who was arguing with me and saying that he would kill me because of the thing about Donald Trump. And she was like, she took it as a joke. She was like laughing about it because she's a very jokeful person. And she was laughing and she was like, it's okay if he tries anything. We know how to fight. And we'll just beat him up and take his stuff. Like basically said, we'll just beat him up and just rob him. And then she started laughing. She said it as a joke. And he started freaking out. And we went down to the water and he was just acting weird and like talking to himself under his breath. And then we got in the car. And that's when I told Allie. I whispered to her, I was like, that's the boy who was I just realized that's the boy who was arguing with me about Trump and said he would kill me. And she said it out loud, like jokingly.
What'd she say?
She was like, oh, it's not a problem. We know how to fight. We'll just beat him up. We'll just jump him and take his stuff. And she started laughing. And then she was like, just kidding. And that's when he like got crazy. And like he got out the car and put his hands like on his head and was spinning around in circles and saying stuff under his breath. And then he came in his car. Allie was scared, so she jumped up front and she was like, and she locked the doors. She was gonna call somebody. And then we got out and we're gonna go walking down the street because nobody would come pick us up. We didn't know he had a gun and he was beating us with it. And I was hitting him.
What were you hitting him with?
I was hitting him with a hammer and I was tasing him. Whenever me and Allison go out with people that we don't know, we always bring our tasers and our pepper spray. And so I was tasing him and I was hitting him. And before he started strangling Allie, he was hitting me with his fist.
Where did the hammer come from?
It was her dad's. She was like, bring this in case something happens because we don't have any like weapons or anything. And the tasers that we have are like weak tasers. And she was like, bring this. And I was like, okay. And then he started beating us with the police thing and strangling Allie. And I managed to pull the police thing out of his hand and I threw it in the water. And that's when he grabbed the gun. And he was like, walk to the road. And Allie was like, I need my shoes. They're in your car. And he was like, no, walk to the road. I'm finna shoot you. And she opened his car door, the back door, to grab it, her shoes, and her taser, so he could go. And he shot her through the glass in the back of his car. And then he shot me. And he shot me again. And he shot at me again. And again. And then he pulled off. And he shot 2 more shots while he was driving away, but it missed us.
Jennifer's version of events differed significantly from Aaron's. Police found no second weapon at the scene, casting doubt on Aaron's claim. Detectives aimed to determine whether Aaron's actions fit Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which allows people to defend themselves with deadly force if they genuinely fear serious harm or robbery. If Aaron reasonably believed his life was in danger, the law might support his actions.
Scene like where all
Yes,
this
sir.
stuff is going on. You shot twice?
I shot a total of 7 times. I shot, I believe, once here, 3 times here.
Your first shot was
Hold on,
into the...
so your dad keeps the gun loaded, like the magazine's full?
Magazine is full,
Okay.
but unchambered.
And you emptied it? Okay. Where were the girls? Were they inside the back of the car when you
They
first shot
were
at
on
them
it.
or shot at them?
The girl with the yellow hoodie was half in, half out. Her
Okay.
lower half was outside of the vehicle, upper half was inside.
And then the girl with the face tattoo?
She was standing just behind the threshold to the car.
And what was she
More
doing?
towards the trunk. I
Said she was diving over, but
Whenever I started moving towards around the vehicle to get a better grasp on and control on the situation, she dived inside the vehicle again, reaching for what I assume is the gun. And so I shot 3 or 4 times at her.
I'm
did you
going
ever
to tell
see
you.
the gun that they were trying to get to?
No. But they stated that they had the gun numerous times and they kept saying, get the gun, get the gun, get the gun. So I assume that is what they were reaching for in the back.
Earlier you said that they said something, that they had a Glock 17, that they said that. How did that come out, that they had a Glock 17?
That they were trying to tell me not to do anything stupid whenever, not to try and fight back or do anything whenever they were taking the car. Whenever they were telling me to step out of the car and look, we have a gun, we have a Glock 17, is exactly what they said. Under her sweatshirt, do not try anything stupid, we will not hesitate to shoot you. So that is how that originally came up, and then they stated numerous times throughout the entire interaction to grab said gun.
And you covered your eyes, and you said that that she was yelling to pepper spray you. Did she pepper spray you at all?
Yeah, I believe so. Forehead and hands were burning the entire time I was in the squad car, so that's what I assume it was. I didn't do anything other than get tased and pepper sprayed.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm gonna get a search warrant to look at the Snapchat, yours and hers together, and try to see what y'all's conversation. That's why I want you the opportunity. What did y'all talk about? Even if you think it sounds bad, what did y'all talk about to me?
Okay. She said she was turning 18 soon. I didn't know how soon. So she said, "Hey, look, it's Florida law.
I'm gonna see it anyway. I just want to hear it.
Yep. So originally, I was like, she posted something about Pensacola boys. I'm like, oh, I'm not from Pensacola, but what's up? And she's like, oh, hi. And I'm like, what do you look like exactly again? Then she sent me a picture of her face tattoo. She looked older, and she said that she was 17, truthfully. And she said that the law is 4 years apart, really. That's, to my knowledge, the actual law.
And how old are you?
18. So, we talked about tattoos. I said, I think that it'd be funny if I got one around my private parts. She said, I think it'd look good. I'm like, you want to see in order to get an opinion on what you think would actually look good around there? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so she got it. She was like, oh, wow, you know, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. So truthfully, that's what I thought was going to happen. If it wasn't happening, I wasn't going to press. I was going to actually actively pursue it. If she came on to me, I wasn't going to stop.
We've been doing this a long time, man. This is all we deal with. So
Yes, sir.
you talking to us about anything sexual is not going to offend us. It's not going to surprise us. So you don't have to hold back.
I'm just ashamed, truthfully.
You're 18 years old, man. That's normal. Even if you left one hookup and was going after another hookup. So is that what you guys were going over there? At least you thought you were going over there to hook up?
I honestly didn't think that we were going to hook up at that time, though. Truthfully, 100%.
Did you have anything in your mind that you thought was going to go on when you drove over there?
Nope. Especially since she said that we weren't going to be at anybody's house. It was just going to be in public and not exactly my forte.
Well, that's hardly public, you know, especially at around midnight or later.
Whenever I made contact with you at the Waffle House, the first thing you said out of your mouth was, can you take me back to the scene? I can show you around.
Yeah.
You still down for that?
Yeah.
You still got that much in your gas tank?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that'll be it'll help us see a little bit different than on this piece of paper.
For sure.
Police took Aaron back to the scene to verify his story, which remained consistent throughout the investigation. Further digging into the girls' backgrounds revealed that Jennifer and Allison were involved in a similar incident just 11 days earlier in Pensacola, where they lured a man under false pretenses, stole his truck, and crashed it in a hit-and-run incident. Eventually, Aaron wasn't charged in Allison's death. However, Jennifer was charged with murder because Allison's death occurred during the felony they were committing. Jennifer awaits trial in jail. The next case is even more chilling.
911, what is your emergency?
A horrifying 911 call captured the screams of a woman desperately claiming her sister was attacking their mother.
What is going on? Hello?
When police arrived, they found 18-year-old Sabrina Zunich leaving the home, still clutching a bloody kitchen knife. Inside, they discovered Lisa Canniful's body, stabbed nearly 200 times. Sabrina was immediately arrested. Sabrina, who had spent her life in foster care, struggled with severe mental health conditions, including ADHD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. She often had trouble at school and had difficulties following rules. At 16, Sabrina was placed with foster parents Kevin and Lisa Canniful in Willoughby Hills, Ohio. Initially, things went smoothly, but trouble arose when Sabrina and Kevin began a secret romantic relationship during the summer of 2012. Sabrina stayed with the family even after turning 18. The relationship caused increasing tension between Kevin and Lisa, leading to arguments and even talks of divorce. Investigators grew suspicious when they learned Kevin had an $800,000 life insurance policy on Lisa, which he wouldn't receive if they divorced. Although Kevin wasn't home during Lisa's murder, police believed he was involved. Initially, Kevin refused to speak with police.
Were you and Lisa in the process of going through a divorce?
Okay, now we're getting outside the scope.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to talk to us about any of the situations that led up to what happened?
I talked to Detective Parmenter. He said he wanted to get interview him about work, which I thought was probably a pretext.
Okay.
But everybody knows where she worked.
Well, we never got to talk at length about the sort of sequence of events and what happened. Right, so we're just trying to talk about.
We're just trying to figure out what happened that night. You know, I mean, his wife was brutally murdered here, and we're trying to help him, help us. He can help us in the investigation.
He wasn't within 100 miles of the house when that happened.
I understand that, but he was with them prior to leaving the house, so he can discuss what what the house was like prior to him leaving.
And we came down to talk to you about what you asked us to talk about. I asked you specifically on the phone what the subject matter was.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
We didn't have to come down. I told you.
Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely.
But, we're not going to get into, the relationship between Kevin and Lisa. It's just, you got a bloody girl with a bloody knife.
You know what, I apologize for wasting your time then, because...
Well, how about your relationship with any of the other children in the household? I mean, how about your relationship with Sabrina? You didn't discuss anything with that?
No.
Kevin?
No.
I mean, you can feel free to talk.
He's got a lawyer sitting right next to him.
I understand, or he can still say what he wants to say.
Except that we're not going to answer any more questions.
Okay, we're done here then.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Is there anything we need to know? Appreciate it. All right, see you later.
Detectives hoped Sabrina could provide clarity. After receiving medical attention, she was brought in for questioning.
What do you recall?
From yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Getting done with my homework? Getting, I don't know, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bed.
And we're at home?
Mm-hmm.
Would anything unusual happen?
I don't know. Everything went fine according to what I knew of.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
Starting from?
Starting from when you got home from school yesterday.
No.
I got home, I went to dorm home. Then we had hamburger helper. And then I went back to doing my homework. Stayed doing my homework till like 1. I went upstairs, no, it was like 12. Went upstairs, tried to go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep, so I went to go get some Advil.
Mm-hmm.
Ibuprofen. Because my head hurts, because I have really bad headaches whenever they feel like it. And after that...
Where did you take ibuprofen from?
In Lisa and Kevin's bathroom. That's where it's held. Kevin and Lisa's bedroom. That's where it's held.
Was Lisa still awake?
I don't know. I just remember going in there, having the bottle, starting to shake it to get the meds, and then I'm gone from there. Thank you.
Okay. Do you remember what the bottle said?
Ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen?
White, and there was orange around it.
Okay.
Are you allowed in the bathroom?
Only to get Advil or something like that. I call it Advil. It's always ibuprofen. Other than that, no. Not unless they're there or, we're told to.
So what did Lisa say to you then, when she saw you in there?
Don't know. I don't know if Lisa...
You didn't hear us?
No. I don't remember anything at that point on.
What do you remember?
Everything except...
Were you taking any illegal narcotics yesterday?
No. I don't do drugs.
You don't do drugs? When was the last time you did drugs?
3.5 years ago.
3.5 years ago? Okay. You have not had any illegal drugs since then? Okay. You were at home all night yesterday? Okay. After you ate dinner, did you have this opportunity to say goodbye to Kevin?
I was at the computer desk.
You're at the computer desk?
I don't know. I went to the living room also because I was printing my bracelet. I mean, I was in the living room, I was in the kitchen, and I was in the office. That's it. Excuse me. I mean, I believe so, yeah, he just said bye, because he always says bye to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we either say bye to Bella, Billy kisses him, well.
Okay. You had an argument or anything with Lisa last night?
No.
No?
Everything was fine.
Everything's fine? Okay. Have you had these type of issues in the past where you just don't remember things?
I'm not positive. I mean, I know I was in other group homes. When I was in a fight with other people, I blacked out.
You mentioned you've had at your group home incidences where you blacked out. Have those been physical?
What do you mean?
Like, did you get in fights? People?
Yeah, but it wasn't me hitting them. If I get a blow to the head, I'm gone. So I fell with my head.
Have you hit people before and not
remembered it?
Like, in the blackout? Yes. But not, I don't start fights. Ever since my first group home, I was 14. I stopped fighting ever since then.
What do you think happened to your hands?
I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm being charged with homicide.
Well, we're investigating that.
I remember.
I'm pretty sure you do. Yeah.
And then,
Remember what you were doing prior to getting to the ambulance?
no,
In Lisa's room?
getting meds. With my headache. That's why I don't get it.
Sabrina initially claimed she didn't remember the incident and was confused by her injuries. Detectives carefully gauged her reaction when they informed her Lisa had died to determine her sincerity.
How do you get along with Kevin?
Kevin and me are cool. I mean, he's more the one that helps me out. Because this is Megan to deal with. Megan has mental instabilities herself.
Okay.
And so we made agreements a long time ago that if I need anything, that I could go to Kevin. And if it was major that she needed to be involved in, then he would ask, but not to be concerned about small things. Because it's already stressing her out. Because of her job, and Haley, and Megan.
How about with Lisa? How are you dealing with her?
Me and Lisa have never been the best. I mean, I've never tried to hurt her, never had any thoughts of hurting her. Yeah, it's been emotional and mental abuse from her to me. She put her hands on me, not fighting, but restraining me because I wouldn't give an iPod to her. And I don't know. I don't know. She never seemed to like me, and she's been wanting me out of the house.
What's your thoughts on how Lisa is not alive now?
What?
What is your thoughts on that she is not alive? Maybe you didn't understand. That's what we're talking to you about.
She's dead.
You should have told me I did it.
Yes.
Most of that blood was probably hers.
That's why we need you to concentrate and think about what happened. There's always two sides to every story. And we want to know what you had to say about it. And we know you were there. You know, there were officers that got to the house after they were called. So we just need you to focus on what happened. You know you were doing homework, and you know you got yourself to the bedroom to get the medicine. What you need to do now is bring it all together and think real hard about maybe what happened next. And then that'll explain how you got some wounds to your hands. Okay?
I've never been a murderer.
We need to know, that's why we're asking you to think about it. We need to know how to help you, okay? And we don't know that until we need to get some facts and find out what's going on. And that'll give us the best course on how to proceed from here and help you, help the family, and go on from there.
What do you want me to eat?
We don't want you to say anything except the truth, and we just want you to think about it, because something happened by the time you were getting your meds in the bathroom there for your headache. and then one of our police officers arriving. So something happened in between that time, and we're just trying to get to the truth of that and find out what happened.
I don't know. This is really dead.
Yes, dead. Sorry. And
Do we have a blanket already or none? You don't have a blanket? Oh my gosh. How'd that happen?
Do you want to know what I can tell you what's going to happen from here right now? I mean, do you have questions for me?
What's going on?
I mean, you right, David?
Yeah.
I mean, or for right now, we're still doing our investigation, but you're under arrest. You know, Lisa's dead, and it appears that you're responsible for that at this time. So that's what the charge is going to be. But at that point, you're going to spend the weekend in jail, the county jail. We're not going to stay here all weekend. All right? And you'll have a court hearing probably on Monday. And at that time, they'll look to see if you have a bond and what to do. All right, for you.
While Sabrina was in jail, Kevin began spending the life insurance money lavishly. Sabrina soon realized Kevin had abandoned her, so she agreed to testify against him, alleging manipulation. She claimed Kevin used her emotions to persuade her into committing the murder. Sabrina recounted a disturbing conversation from the day before Lisa's death, where Kevin tearfully told Sabrina he would end his life if Lisa wasn't killed.
Basically, he convinced me that I wouldn't get caught. We'd pretend like nothing happened. We wouldn't know a robber broke in, make it seem like, tumble the jewelry box and leave the door open, hide the knife, or it was supposed to be a gun. We were supposed to go to a shooting range the weekend of what happened. But Lisa got mad when he told her because she wanted to go along. You don't spend any more time with me. You're spending too much time with her. And so that didn't happen because it happened before. If I went to the shooting range and know how to use a gun, then it would have happened with a pistol that his uncle gave to him, wasn't registered in his name, couldn't be followed back to him. I was like, okay, well then just do it with a knife. And he was like, you want to get that up and close and personal? Like, you want to be that personal?
So was your suggestion you use a knife instead of a gun?
Correct. He had me convinced it was only going to be like 25 years and he would be there for me afterwards and that he would bail me out if it were that you got caught or anything. And I told him, look, you do know I'm risking my whole life, everything that I've done, getting my high school diploma, being able to do everything that I was planning on doing in life. And he was like, well, this is all on you. I had full trust in him. I don't know, and I don't trust people. I've never been in love before, and so I don't want to say that's what I blame it on, but that's the only thing I could think of that would completely blind me from all the hints that were dropped, all the what are you doing, is this not wrong type thing. Because before, I was a manipulator, and I was beat at my own game. That doesn't happen. I was blinded. From getting the life insurance that he had on her, $750 and we would either get a new house, sell the one we had, pay off the trailer or the cars, whatever, and then either get a house or build a new one. It was all planned out. Me and you will have a perfect relationship. Haley can be raised the way she needed to be. Me and you would have a perfect house, and you'd have everything you'd want. You'd go to college. It was all going to be a perfect lifestyle.
So what made you decide to tell us about Kevin?
Because for some reason, I'm religious and the truth prevails. And for me to go down for this when I wasn't the only one involved, it didn't seem right. And when you start thinking with your head and not your heart, you realize if somebody loved you, they wouldn't let you go down like that.
Kevin was arrested after Sabrina's testimony and brought in for questioning.
I want to get your side of the story, and I want it to be truthful. You know, when I go back to my bosses and they're going to ask me if you were truthful. If you if you gave us a statement as to what we already know, and if you're remorseful for being involved in this. So.
Obviously, Kevin, Mr. Walt told you some things that we have an indictment against you, okay? And we would like you to talk to us to give us some insight on some things. We have a lot of facts as to your involvement in this case, and we would like to know your side of the story on this, on what happened.
Why don't you start at the beginning, Kevin? When did Sabrina come into the house, and how did that all unfold that you became the caretaker? You and Lisa.
Kevin described making an agreement with Sabrina, stating she could continue living with them if she behaved well, despite her initial issues.
She better straighten up, she better start listening, she better not be smoking.
Well, I laid it on the line from her, to her from the get-go, telling her that what we were willing to do to help her, as long as she followed the program, she was more than welcome to stay in her house, even after she was out of care, as long as she stayed in school and followed the program. But then I also told her, I said, as I do with my kids, that if you don't follow the rules of the program, then you're out the door.
And how did she take that conversation?
She liked the fact that we were willing to, let her stay with us. Because she was really nervous and worried about being out on her own.
What was Lisa part of this discussion, or was it just you and Sabrina?
No, it was always all three of us.
Okay. All right. So you and Lisa had a discussion with Sabrina within the first month. She goes to this Lake Academy or something similar over there at the Willoughby Tech Center for her 10th grade year. How are things in the home during that time period? Like, do you need to talk to Sabrina anymore?
On and off.
On and off? Okay. And how was she during Christmas?
Okay. I'm excited.
What was the relationship now with Sabrina and Lisa and you? How's everything?
And Megan and Haley.
Yeah, the family unit. How's everything gelling?
Had its good days and had its bad days.
Tell us about the good days.
The good days, everything went smooth. There was no problems. Kids did what they needed to do.
Harmony in the home?
Yeah. Tell us about the bad days.
Bad days. You started out with Megan and Sabrina getting into it. Or Sabrina. Either not getting her way about something and reacting to that, or doing something wrong and having to be gotten after.
And who would step in and correct her? Would it be you or would it be Lisa?
It was equal.
Okay.
It got to the point to where Lisa got really frustrated, and so we made the decision for Lisa to just deal with Megan, and I dealt with Sabrina.
At what point, when did that decision happen?
I couldn't tell you.
Sabrina listened to you more? You had more influence on her?
I don't know if I'd say that, but
as opposed to Lisa? You know, who had the...
I was able to get through to her better, I believe.
So obviously when you talked, she listened. Whereas Lisa, she talked and all she heard was wah, 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 wah.
Probably a good analogy. Yeah.
But you know, the relationship between Sabrina and Megan, my kids grew up together, and they love each other now, but that's like typical sisters or...
Oh, that's how it was.
Brothers and sisters, you know.
They would be like oil and water, and the next thing you know, they're doing hair and makeup together, and they're hanging out, having fun, and it was just mind-boggling.
So, if you could elaborate more on how your relationship with Sabrina developed and evolved. Remember, Kevin, we asked you for the truth when we came here.
If we're getting into all this stuff, aren't I supposed to have my lawyer?
But you know, that we explained to you when he read you your rights. But also we asked you for three things. I asked you for the truth. I wanted to hear your side of the story. And we needed to talk to you. This is the time to clear the air. So. It's your decision. You know you have a choice in the matter.
Well, I already have an attorney on record. I think he should be here for all this.
Well, like I say,
I'm only gonna say the truth. I'm not gonna lie about anything.
Right. That's what I asked you for when we came in here. And you know we have the evidence. I have an 11-count indictment here, and I wanted to discuss the whole thing with you, the whole puzzle. You know, each piece of the puzzle we put together for the last 8 months, and we have the evidence. So. I mean, we are going to go forward with this, as you know, and as we are going forward with it now. The part you just asked me about, that's your decision, and that's, I wanted to work with you if I could, but, you know, I can't talk to you then. So, you're at the Y in the road, you have to make a decision, you know. But I thought we had a good conversation going.
Your choice to make, Calvin.
Well, we do. It's
So you just have to let us know what your decision is.
I should have a lawyer before we proceed.
Okay. Are you asking for an attorney at this point in time? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kick your shoes off for me. Patch it down. Just put your hands right on the wall. All right, come with me.
Throughout his trial, Kevin showed no remorse and was convicted, receiving a life sentence with parole eligibility after 30 years. Sabrina pleaded guilty and received a similar sentence. Her defense argued Kevin manipulated her, even instructing her on committing the murder and making it look like a robbery. Kevin told Sabrina to claim insanity or self-defense if caught. The central question remains, was Sabrina a manipulated victim Or did she act independently using Kevin's influence as an excuse? If you enjoyed these videos, please like and subscribe.